And we're live. Okay, so guess what? I started on time and not 20 minutes late. And I clicked go live on the YouTube studio interface, and YouTube did not go live. And I pretended I was live. I acted because I believed I was live. So I just spoke um, um, in the void for 20 minutes. Well, I guess it was a good warm up. So what's new? I'm Regis Bemo. I work as a tutor and OpenEdX software engineer. And on this channel, we will do live tutor and OpenEdX development. So for those of you who don't know about Tutor, it's an OpenEdX distribution, Docker-based. It's open source, and it was designed for peace of mind, meaning that it makes it very easy to install OpenEdX on your own servers. I'm watching YouTube, the YouTube interface in the corner of my eye because I'm afraid that this will go out. So for those of you who don't know me and my house internet connection, it's terrible. I hope it will get better soon. Anyway, so what's new? What's new in the OpenEdX world? First of all, there is the OpenEdX conference. The OpenEdX conference will take place on May 27th. That's in a month from now exactly. It will be an online event. Subscription registration is now open. It's fairly cheap. It's like $50. There will be very few talks, just 7 of them. But I heard that this conference will be there will be several events organized around the conference where people will be able to chat, and I'm hoping to get the opportunity to chat with other people from do a birds of a feather event around Tutor and Docker-based deployments. Hi Nadim. So you're saying I think your connection is slow. I think I agree with you. My connection is slow. So you should be experiencing lags, but hopefully you will get everything from the stream, albeit with some delays. Hopefully. Yeah. So I actually improved my setup from last time, so I have a separate computer that shows the YouTube interface, which means that I can see the comments with slightly better, with less delay. Okay, so you should subscribe to this conference. Ask your boss to pay for you, and I hope to chat with you during the conference or before. What else is new? There's the EduTech Europe conference, which is taking place tomorrow and the day after. So this is not directly related to OpenEdX, although it is an event that is sponsored by edX. Look here, edX is a gold sponsor. How beautiful is that? It's a rather big conference, which this year is taking place online for obvious reasons. It will be tomorrow and the day after, and it's better than cheap because it's free. So you should definitely subscribe. I have no idea whether the talks will be worth it because I never personally attended the conference, but I heard good things about it. So subscribe. On the OpenEdX front, Tutor. So there were 2 releases for Tutor. Where are they? They are right here. So there was v11.7 and 11.8. 11.7 includes a security patch, which you probably want to install, most certainly want to install, along with a few minor feature and improvements. Um, version 11.2.8 includes a fix that will be useful to you if you run with e-commerce. And many of these improvements were actually contributed by Open edX maintainers and not myself, which is a great thing, which goes to show that the maintainer program is working. So thanks to the maintainers. What else is new? The whole Open edX gang is working on getting to Lilac. So Lilac is the release that comes after Koa. You can see the progress to Lilac on this on the project board of the build test release working group. So there are quite a few issues which are listed here. So what's important is in the to-do list. Very few issues are actually assigned to myself. I had much more 6 months ago for the Koa release. The only one which is assigned to me is the Lilac to install with Mongo 4 ticket. And I volunteered to test this on Tutor, but not in the native installation. So there are quite a few tickets here which include a reference to Tutor, because Tutor needs to include support for the payment MFE and the account MFE, for instance, and also the front-end app payment and front-end app e-commerce MFEs. But Tutor will not be the only recommended installation method for Lilac. So it's not like directly, the build test release working group does not directly concern itself with Tutor. So I have work to do with Tutor for Lilac, but it's not like directly in the BTR board. Okay, that's so yeah. So concerning Lilac, Lilac is scheduled to come out on June 9th. There are several milestones before then. We just passed milestone 1 and we're heading milestone 2. Unfortunately, we did not get a working tag with milestone 1, which means that for people who want to test Lilac, they need to test the master branch, the Lilac master branch. Okay, maybe we can start working. So the whole point of the live stream, as opposed to the recording, is that you can ask questions in the chat. If you are if you are watching the stream live, then please feel free to engage in conversation. I will try to answer all your questions as best I can. If you're watching a recording of this, then next time maybe try to attend the live stream and ask your questions. Okay, so what are we going to work on today? There are quite a few things. There are actually 4 items. First, there is the Open edX, the Tutor forums, which I would like to where I would like to answer a few questions. There are a few unanswered questions there, and I would also like to take the opportunity to moderate these questions. This would be like a tutorial for moderator maintainers. Like how do I moderate things? It's essentially a work of editing and telling people, hey, you should not do that, you should do this. So this first. Then I want to try out the MongoDB 4 upgrade. This means both checking that it works with Lilac, Mongo 4, and checking that the upgrade works. The upgrade from Koa, which runs MongoDB 3.6. and we need to upgrade to MongoDB 4 because MongoDB 3.6 come out of support, becomes obsolete. I think it's like today or this week. The third thing that I would like to do is to get to remove some code from the core tutor package, some code that is about the Android and MFE features. So I wrote a tutor enhancement proposal, a TAP. Here it is. So the idea is to take out some optional features from the core tutor and move them to plugins. So this would be a breaking change, and I like to take the opportunity of major OpenEDX releases to make breaking changes to the tutor platform. So this change would come with Lilac. So I wrote this step. No one commented, but I told people, hey, if you don't have any objection, just put a like here. So who liked this? So 3 maintainers. Thanks, Sofiane, Nadim, and Eric. So I guess I'll proceed with this. And doing this live would be a good plugin development tutorial. And the last thing that I would like to do, which is most difficult, is to get the MFE plugin to work with Lilac out of the box. And this means essentially fixing this issue here. So last week what we did was to create this MFE plugin where changing the configuration of the plugin allowed us to add micro frontends to the MFE plugin. The thing is that we need to rebuild the MFE Docker image every time we make a change to the configuration. And currently we need to do this manually. And there's no mechanism in Tutor to do this automatically. And to be honest, I have no idea. I don't have a clear idea how to do this currently. So this would involve quite a lot of brainstorming. And so I'm not sure it's the right, doing this live would be the right thing. I would scratch my head most of the time, I think, which is not very interesting to look at. So maybe keep this for later. If you agree, I will now take a look at the forums and try to answer some questions there. So what goes on in the forums? What's new? There are a few questions which are unanswered, so let's take a look. How to add a Django app by Trungdiep. First time Trungdiep has posted. Let's welcome them to our community. So hi, how do I add the Django app plugin to Tutor? So Django app is not really a plugin. It's an OpenEDX plugin. Is it necessary to create a Django admin directory with setup py file, set up a Tutor my app? No, not really. Hi, Trungdiep. You are mistaking two different things here. So Django app is probably an additional Django application inside edX platform. I assume. I assume you want to add a Django application to the edX platform LMS or CMS, right? In that case, what you want to do is to install an extra dependency inside the OpenEdX Docker image. In that case, you need to install a Python package inside the OpenEdX Docker image. For that, you should follow the docs. And the docs, it's in the customization, configuration, installing extra X blocks, and requirements. It's this section. You need to read this section of the docs. Then you will want to configure the LMS CMS to actually use your Django app. For that, you will have to modify the LMS and CMS settings. The recommended approach to do that with Tutor is to create a plugin. And here's the documentation. You will most likely have to implement the so what's that patch called? It's the Tutor settings it's the OpenEdX common settings patch. Does that clarify things for you? And I'm going to do some mild editing here. I don't know, yeah, maybe that, okay. Let's see if they answer something. Okay, next. There was a question here about multi-site, multi-tenant. How to achieve support for multiple tenancy in Elasticsearch. So this is a comment from November 20th, which replied to an initial post from January 20th, so like 1 year later. And then someone replied 4 days ago, so 5 months later. And Pengcheng was kind enough to answer. I'm going to close this because I'm closing this very old topic now. Please write a new one if you have further questions about multi-tenancy. And I'm going to close this. How do I do this? Close topic, yeah. So now on the forums, when you write a new topic, it becomes automatically closed after 3 months. Like the newer topics. Yeah, this topic will close 3 months after the last reply. This guarantees that people don't come like a year later with further questions. And they need to it's better if they reopen a topic and link to the older topic. It makes it much easier for everyone to understand. Also, people who posted about the topic like 1 year ago don't want to be notified 1 year later about new questions and new issues. So yeah, auto close. So speaking of which, manifest unknown. I have this error when I run command tutor local quick start or tutor local start. The following error occurs. Let's do some mild editing. I1. Okay, and this this says, yeah, manifest unknown because the image does not exist on Docker.io. This is actually my fault. So I pushed a release to PyPy, and CI did not work. Continuous integration did not work, and the Docker image was not pushed to Docker.io. And I fixed this on this morning. This is actually my fault. I pushed, I created the v11 to 7 release, but an issue in continuous integration, CI, caused the push to Docker.io to fail. Goes pushing the Docker images to Docker.io, hence the manifest unknown error. I pushed the images later and also fixed the release on GitHub, which explains why it should be working now. Why it should now be working. On a side note, so Chungyap posted a screenshot of the command. It's better if people post, if people copy paste the result from the console. It makes it much easier for people to Google the same error. On a side note, please. So this is me putting on my moderator cap and asking about better formatting. Already posting screenshots of console logs. Instead, copy paste the logs in the topic itself. It makes it much easier for people to Google the same issue and to search in the forums. Okay. What else is new on the forums? Stuck at creating Tutor local MySQL job. I'm currently deploying Tutor on AWS EC2 instance, installing it and launching it using Cloud Init. So Cloud Init is a script that is run every time the virtual machine is booted. And they're getting stuck on this. And I have no idea. I have no idea what they should do, but they say that Docker Compose was running with the -t. It's a TTY problem. That's not a TTY. compose, interactive, no CLI. Dash T works well. So Dash T should be working. Is this really an issue? So is Tutor running with Dash T when it runs jobs? I can't remember. It should be working with Dash T because it's not really interactive, is it? Let's try to figure this out. Here I'm running Tutor local init. Okay, I'm having the same issue as last time. This is going to be... Okay, let's try this again. Tutor local init. What's important to me is the tutor compose command here. And we can see that it's not running with the dash T. With the dash T option. And I'm pretty sure I tried that, but I had to remove it. Because in some cases we do need an interactive shell. So I'm going to so is this an issue? This is an issue when you run quick start in a place that does not have, that cannot allocate TTY. Is that actually an issue? Wait, Docker compose run help. So dash T, yeah, disables TTY. Are we using the dash T at all in Tutor? Yes. Okay. And actually, we should try to be smart about this. So Tutor, it's in the commands compose part, and here when we run a job, if it's not a TTY, we should be adding the dash T option. And this means that LMAS should not be facing this issue. So I'm not answering. I'm not getting the. I don't understand how they fix the problem. There's something. Tutor is supposed to work even in the absence of TTY. Jobs are run with the dash T option when no TTY is available. Are you saying that we should not be using this option? Or that the TTY detection mechanism is not working? For reference, here is the relevant part of the code. So in the tutor tree, it's in the tutor repo, tutor folder. It's inside commands, compose, and here I will send the link here. Okay, and see what they answer. And I think we're done with the forums. Oh, here, there's a question. Modifying allowed hosts. So this is yet another example of a very old post from January. So Dean asked about how do we modify allowed hosts, and found the answer on the same day, which explains why no one answered. Yes, it works great, except that Dean did not post the actual plugin, and then Debates asks about that same plugin. And he does that like 3 months later, which means that Dean will probably not be reading this. Okay, there's some, and then Debates asks about this plugin. I am pretty sure this is wrong, because this adds a patch to OpenX LMS production, which is OpenX LMS production. What is that? What is that? That's not a patch, is it? No, there's OpenX LMS production settings, but not OpenX LMS production. And then this is supposed to be a Python formatted patch, and this is not Python formatted. It should be, okay, I'm going to reply here. I have no idea what you are trying to achieve exactly, but I'm pretty sure the plugin you wrote is wrong. First, the correct patch name you want is probably OpenX LMS production settings, and not OpenX LMS production. Second, the patch needs to be Python formatted. So it's likely that you need something like that you need instead. Let's copy paste this. Modify the patch, and then so allowed hosts is a variable to which we append hostname.com. What about the indentation? Indentation is, yeah, this looks better. Okay. And we're done with the forms. So what do you think? What should we do next? I would like to try out the MongoDB upgrade, and also maybe taking out the web UI and Android code out of Tutor. So the MongoDB 4 upgrade is really related to Lilac, and removal of the Android and Web UI features as well. So you can tell me what you think in the chat, but I think what I will do is take out the Android and Web UI code. This will make a good tutorial for plugin development. So you know what? I'll take a short break for now, and you tell me in the chat what you want to do. If you don't do anything, then I'll go for Web UI and Android. So the choice is either Web UI Android, a removal of core tutor, and creation of 2 additional plugins, or upgrade of MongoDB to 4.0. Okay, tell me in the chat. Meanwhile, I'll see you in a couple of minutes. And we're back. Okay, so good to see you all, Nadim, Sofiane, and Ricardo on the chat. It's good to see the maintainers here. So you all voted for the creation of the Android and Web UI plugins. So let's go with it. How do we create a plugin? Let's head to the Tutor documentation. So there's this plugins page. Tutor comes with a plugin system that allows anyone to customize the deployment of an open edX platform very easily. Plugin development. Getting started, this is what we need. And we do not want a YAML file, we want a Python package. And it is strongly recommended to create your first plugin with Tutor plugin cookie cutter, so let's go there. This is how we install the cookie cutter plugin, and this is how we generate a plugin. So let's do this right now. I'm going to go in my plugins repository, plugins, where are all the plugins that we support until now. We are going to be working on the Lilac branch, and actually what I am going to do is to create yet another branch. I don't know what's going to be the what's going to happen with this branch. Is it going to be a single commit in the? Is the Lilac upgrade going to happen in a single commit in the Lilac branch, or are we going to have multiple commits? I think it makes sense to have multiple commits. Okay, and we're going to be working on Tutor 12 Tutor plugins list, and there's this version conflict which is a pain in the ass, same as last time. Freeze Tutor. So let's just try to reinstall this here. Yes, it's working now. Great. So let's disable the MFE plugin. Plugins disable MFE. And tutor config save. And now we're going to create a new plugin using this cookie cutter command. There you go. I've downloaded the cookie cutter plugin before. Delete and re-download it. Yes. Takes a minute. I'm going to call, so let's do this in alphabetical order. Let's remove the Android plugin first. So I'm going to call it Android. So it's going to be Tutor Android. Module name will be Tutor Android. And Git repo will be https overhang io dash Tutor Android. Author is overhang.io. License is AGPL. And now I can open the Tutor Android folder, and I see that there's this nice setup.py file with an about. There's the about module here, which says version 0.1. I want to develop for Lilac, so this is going to be v12. And then the basic architecture in place for the plugin. And now I'm going to extract all things Android in the Tutor core. So there's something in the README which I'm going to have to take care of. Oh, wait, okay, can you see my screen? Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Not yet. There you go. This should be better now. So there's a lot of stuff in the documentation, like extra, intro, readme, and then there's this module here, android.py, and then there's this variable, a few things, and there's the Android folder, build Android Docker file, a few variables, a few things here in the LMS init, which we need to take care of, and an Android job for actually building the image. So first things first, there's this command Android here. So basically we need to import all this command and move it to the plugin. So let's do that. Oof, oof. I'm going to Control C and then remove the file actually. So the Android plugin has it's possible to add commands to a plugin. This is documented here. Plugin API command. So I just need to create a command object. I'm not going to paste all this CLI code in this plugin.py module. Instead, I'm going to create another CLI.py module and paste the code here. And we import click. We from Tutor commands compose. I need to fix the imports. Tutor commands local from Tutor import config, Tutor env, Tutor format, from Tutor types import config, from Tutor context import context. Okay, and then there's this. So is this thing working? There are a few errors. No name context in module Tutor. Really? There's no context module? Right. What? Wait, did this change? So, how do people usually import? Oh, it's in the commands. Yeah, so it's in the commands module. And this means that this should be here. Okay, so PyLint is no longer complaining. And so we have this basic command in place, and it should be working. But you know what? First things, can you zoom in a bit in your IDE? Yes, sure. Yes, this should be better now. Sorry about that, Sofiane. And now, you know what? Let's just check that the plugin works. So Tutor Android, install it in editable mode. And now when I run Tutor plugins list, it should, yes, it does show Android 12. And it's disabled, so enable it with Tutor plugins enable Android. And here it says you should regenerate the configuration with Tutor config save. So let's do that. And it's working. But there is no Tutor Android command yet. Actually there is, because we didn't remove it from the Tutor repo. So let's do that. Git rm Tutor tutor commands Android. And then also, because this is going to crash quite a few things, as we can see by running the bylint and type tests. Yes, enable to import from tutor commands Android, obviously. So from commands CLI, we need to remove from Android import Android, and here Android. Actually, maybe we could do the same thing for web UI, but yeah, I don't want to do both at the same time. So now tutor Android does not work anymore. Actually, it's worse than that. It's crashing. No module. Oh, I did not save. No, I don't. Oh shit! I saved that. Oh. Putain. Let's remove this. Okay. And now when I run tutor Android, it should not be crashing. It should just be saying, "Hey, I don't have this command." Yeah, no such command. Okay, good. So this is working. And now we need to create a command object in the in the Android plugin, and command is going to be from CLI import Android as Android command. Command equals Android command. And this should be working. This should give us our Android command. So let's check it out. Yes! Now we do have the command. So let's clean this up a bit. And take a look at this Android command. There's something I want to check. Yeah. You know what? Let's remove the beta feature here. Flag. This is no longer beta. The release still doesn't work, but I guess it's not too bad. Okay, what next? We still need to remove all the Android-related code from Tutor. So here I remove the Android image from the list of base images, which are removed, which are built automatically. Oh, by the way, one day we should actually move the forms to a dedicated plugin. Not now, not today. Oh no, I didn't want beautify things with black. Doesn't change anything. env, we don't save the Android environment, folder from the environment, and we need to move these templates. We need to move this. We're going to move this to a Tutor plugins folder. Android, templates, Android, and then these files are used at runtime, so they belong to the apps folder. And we need to cp all the file. I need to init a git repo. And, it's not git, it's git. And then, so we have all these files which are actually templates. Yes. And then I should remove these files from the git repo. There are other Android files in the build folder, so I should cp them to the same, almost the same path, except it's not in the apps folder, it's in the build folder. And what do we do with those files? First, remove them from the core repo. Yeah. And then what do we do with those files? Check that. So we, first of all, let's start with the files from the build folder. Templates, Android, build. Yeah. So this means that we build an Android Docker image as part of the workflow. So how do we build that? We create a hook, which is build image, and we add this to the plugin configuration. And I'm going to call it Android, and the image here is going to be Android Docker image, something like that. So what's the name of this variable? Android, no, it's Docker image Android. So it used to be called Docker image Android, and now it's going to be called Android Docker image because all plugin variables are prefixed by the name of the plugin. So maybe this will become a little bit clearer in a moment. Here I need to add a new configuration variable. Defaults and here it's Docker image, and it's going to be prefixed by the Docker registry, and then we'll push to the overhang IO registry on the Docker Hub. The image will be called OpenX-Android, and it's not going to be the Tutor version here, it's going to be the Android version, and Android version, no, actually just a version, is actually the package version. So this is a pattern that I use all the time in Tutor plugins. You can see, for instance, the Tutor e-commerce plugin. So there are a bunch of variables. There's this version variable, and then the Docker image is prefixed by Docker registry, and the version is actually the Tutor plugin version. Okay, we build the image Android with beautify. Why is beautification not working? Because the code is not correct? Yeah. Okay. So once we do that, we should be able to actually build the Android Docker image. Let's try it. Tutor images build Android. So we need to tutor config save, because it's complaining that the Docker file does not exist. That's because we did not save after we created the build folder in the plugin. And they cannot find the build context. That's because there's no folder, and there's no folder because the Docker file was moved to an incorrect path. So I'm going to create the Android folder. So we need to create a folder named Android inside the Android build folder, because a single plugin can build multiple images. And so this Android name is the one that we have here. So I create this Android folder and mv build Docker file there, and also the edX properties there. And then just to be sure, I'm going to remove the env folder of the plugin from my local environment, just to make sure that I don't create extra files there. Let's try it again. Tutor config save and tutor images build Android. And it's working. And it doesn't do anything because it's using the cache, because I have built the Android image before. And it's using the cache because I did not make any change to the Docker file, which is a good sign. It means that I am backward compatible. So this looks like it's working. We need to migrate some more stuff. So what else do we need to migrate from the Tutor core repo? So there are a few Android named variables that we need to migrate to the new plugin. So let's cut them and plugin. Let's move them here. Poof. So we need to remove the Android prefix here because it's going to be automatically added by the plugin, by the Tutor plugin manager. Yes. This should be working. And what else do we need to remove? Yes, so we need to remove this Docker image Android thing. And we should still be able to run tutor config save. If not, yeah. So this is a clear indication that something is going wrong. The fact that we cannot run tutor config save, it shows that we did not migrate all our config variables properly. So here it's complaining that it's missing configuration value Docker image Android in this local Docker compose jobs file. And we could have noticed that if we had gone here. Oh, wait, I did a search with match case. Let's remove this and find all. So here in Docker Compose, we can see that there is this section about, this is actually for building the Android image. And this is going to fail because this variable does not exist anymore. It was renamed to Android Docker image. So actually what we want to do is to move this to the plugin. And for that, we need to create a local Docker Compose jobs services patch. I'm going to copy paste this. and then create a patch with the same name. And in that patch, I will put this. And I will remove this and write it as Android Docker image. And this means that we should now be able to run tutor config save. Yes, it's now working. So, oh right, we forgot to migrate this Android auth to secret. Let's migrate this to the plugin. So this cannot go to the defaults section because this variable actually needs to be generated and stored in the config.yaml file. So this is not a default variable, it's something that we call an added variable. So here it's in the add section, and we create this variable, remove the Android prefix, and this will be automatically generated. And we should be able to check that when we config save, the value is not changed in the repo. So grep Android to secret in local share tutor config.yaml. We have this hrtrg variable, and when we run tutor config save, it should not be modified. Yeah, it remains the same because we kept the same name. So it's a good thing. No. What else do we need to migrate? In config.py. Whoa. Whoa. This is still. This is still in the code? Now that is really strange. Whoa. Yeah, the config code is sometimes a bit obscure, even for me. Okay, let's remove this because this variable should now be automatically added by the Android plugin. And we're only left with this hook, delete obsolete credentials for Android application. And also creation of authentication credentials for the Android app. And we need to move this to a dedicated init hook in the Android plugin. So templates, Android hooks, LMS folder, and there in init. And we can check that we are able to run this hook by running tutor config save and tutor local init and limit to the Android plugin. Right, so here it says all services initialized, but we can clearly see that our init hook did not run. This is because I forgot to do something. It's to add the init hook to the to the plugin. And here, so I forget the exact configuration. We need this. we need to init the LMS. So this means that we need an init hook to run inside the LMS job container. And now, yeah, so this is actually running the job, which is good. Let's interrupt it. And I think we're good, because here we migrated all the Android-related data from Tutor to the plugin. All that's left is a few documentation sections, and I'm not going to migrate these here in this live stream because wording is difficult and it's painful to watch for you guys, so I will do it offline. But I guess we should check that this is working. That the image building is working. However, in order to do that, I need to export to modify the tutor root to tell it, because I use two different tutor roots to work on Lilac and on Koa. And here I was saving the tutor environment, but actually the I was saving inside the Koa environment. So let's try it again. Let's first start the platform. You know what? I'm going to show off a bit and work on the remote Lilac tutor machine. Yeah, and then I'm going to install tutor plugins list. I'm going to enable the Android plugin and disable the MFE plugin. And now I can run Tutor Local Quick Start in non-interactive mode, and it should be building the Android image. So hopefully I just need to sit back here and watch it do its thing. What I can do, so this is going to stop the platform, start the platform, run the init scripts, but it's not going to build the Android APK file. And actually I can build the APK while the whole platform is quick starting. So I'm going to do that right now. So tutor Android, so what's the syntax? Build, and we build in debug mode. Is this going to work? Looks like it's working. So it's running SSH, running this long Docker compose command, and it's running the Android job from Docker compose jobs, and it's running this stupid sed thing because there's no, I don't know how to use environment variables inside of constants.gradle. And then it's running Gradle W assemble prod debuggable. I have no idea how Gradle works. This is a Java world thing, I guess, but it should be working fine. Meanwhile, Quick Start is working. LMS was initialized. Now it's CMS, and we'll, after that we'll move on to the Android init. These deprecation logs are really a pain in the ass. We should really get rid of them. I'm going to commit my changes. A first test. Is everything working fine? And then I'm going to commit my changes. Git commit. So it's a breaking change, so exclamation point. Migrate Android feature away from core. The Android app feature is now moved to a dedicated plugin. See this tutor enhancement proposal for reference, and then it's this one. So the breaking change here is that the only breaking change here is the rename, so it's the renaming of the Docker image Android. Config a variable to Android Docker image. And I should also be adding a changelog. Migrate Android app building away from core tutor and to a dedicated plugin. Step. This step. Okay. Add the changelog, and we're good. So building the image worked. To be honest, I have no idea whether the Android image actually works. I will keep this test for another time. I would have to try out the app on my phone, which is kind of a pain. If you guys really want to do it, I can make the image available right now, but yeah, let's not do this right now. Doesn't make sense. And also the quick start worked. The Android init worked as well, so it's looking good. And I like to start all repos with a sunrise git commit. Okay. And we could be doing the same thing with Web UI. So, do we want to do the same thing with Web UI, or do you guys have enough for today and we can do something else? So Web UI looks much simpler. There really isn't. There's no hook. There's very little code, and yeah, let's do it. Okay, no, it's not needed to, yes, we can reuse it. Web UI, Tutor Web UI, Tutor Web UI, get repo is https overhang.io/tutor web UI. Author is overhang.io. License is correct, and I can now open the web UI folder. Check out the version, set it to 12. Oh, by the way, in the setup file, here we should be depending on Tutor Open edX more or less equal to 12.0.0. And so what's the syntax again? What's the syntax again? And also I think like this. And we should be doing the same thing in the Android plugin repo. This shows that this plugin only works with the Lilac release of Tutor. Again, let's find all references to web UI and move them. So a bunch of docs things, and then we have this CLI. So let's add this to next to the plugin. So similar to the Android app, I'll create a CLI module. From Tutor, change the imports. Import exceptions. Serialize. Okay. Bylint is not complaining. So let's install this plugin. Tutor plugins enable web UI. Tutor plugins list. We have web UI, but we don't have yet the, and we still have the web UI command, so we need to remove it. From the list of commands, Tutor commands web UI. Here, remove this, otherwise make test failed. It should, at least. It should complain on a missing module. Yes. So just remove this. Remove this. And there's only one more reference to web UI here, which I can remove. And basically we've taken out all of the oh no, we haven't. Wait, what? There's a web UI.png image. So where is this image used? In the docs. So we're not going to move it out. I'll do that later. I'll do that on my own. So now make test should be working. And so web UI should be failing. It is. And now from CLI import web. So is it web UI? Yes, it is web UI. As web UI and then defined the command object as web UI. And now this should be working. Yes. Configure. Username Regis, password 1234, 123. Oh no, wait. This is running in production. Is this going to work? Is this even going to work? Let's try it again. Regis, and then I will put a slightly more complex password. So I configured the web UI, and then I can run start. Okay, this is not going to work with the Tutor machine. Is it? Almost certainly not. If it runs locally, then yeah, it's not a good idea. Okay, let's not run on the remote machine. Deactivate the machine. Let's work locally. Try it again. Plugins list. Plugins enable. So we have to jump through these hoops because I'm switching from one machine to another. So Tutor config save. Tutor web UI configure. Regis. And then, so by the way, where does web UI store its passwords? So configure, save web UI config file to the config path. The config path. Get path. Oh, it's in the web UI folder? This is a weird... Yeah, so I wrote this piece of code a long time ago. Right, so this is not using the configuration variables. It's this comment here at the top. Because web UI can be used even when Tutor, at the very start of using Tutor, when there's no configuration file yet. This happens on the AWS AMI, where people are running Tutor remotely, and no platform has been installed yet at the time when they run Tutor Web UI. So let's run Tutor Web UI start. It's downloading Gotti. Gotti is a utility to have an interactive shell from the as in a web browser. Trying my password. And it looks like it's working. I have the web UI command and also the Android command. I can build the Android image. Android build GOG. Oh, because the Android plugin is not enabled. Plugins enable Android. and then config save, and then I can try to Android build debug. Cool. Looks like it's working. And I cannot control C. It's difficult to control C in the browser. So let's reload. By the way, can we upgrade Gotti? So what release is it using? So it's downloading V101 from the GitHub releases. Oh, there's a 2.0 alpha released in December 2017. Oh, that's not looking good. Ephemeral test release for the V2.0.0 releases. No, I don't want that. No. So apparently the guy stopped working on this a couple of years ago. Yeah, last commit December 13, 2017. Let's not upgrade. You know what? Let's not upgrade. And are there many issues? Yeah, add maintainers. You bet. Plenty of forks. I guess the WebUI plugin should migrate to something else than Gotti, but now is not the time to do that. If someone is volunteering, then that would be great. Maybe, yeah, we could modernize this whole thing. Anyway, migration of the WebUI plugin seems to be working. And then here we can add an entry to changelog. And actually I will modify building away and the WebUI. This link is wrong. WebUI. This is the correct link. And now I can commit. It's a breaking change again. Move WebUI front end away from core repo. Okay, and we're done. So we just need to get rid of a few more stuff from the documentation. We also need to add we need to publicize these plugins, but this is really a job for my CI, my continuous integration, so you don't have to care about this. So I guess we're done here. Do you guys have questions? Feel free to ask. I realize that I went quite fast through some of the steps. Well, it's the good thing with videos. You can go back in time and take a look at and what you missed. So in any case, feel free to shoot me questions either here in the chat or on the forums. So it's now 1 p.m. here in France. It's been a 2-hour stream for me. I guess we can come to a close. We're not going to have time to migrate Lilac to MongoDB 4.0. It's not really a lot of work. It's a lot of it's a bit of copy pasting of boilerplate code, because we already made the upgrade from MongoDB 3.2 to 3.6 in Koa. Maybe I will do that before next week, or maybe I'll keep that for the next live session. Thanks for joining. As usual, if you'd like to support this kind of streaming, you can buy a license from overhang.io, subscribe to an Amazon AMI, so this is money that goes directly to me, or you can buy something from my Amazon wishlist. So I'm wondering if there are any Steam players out there. If yes, then I guess I should also publicize my own Steam wishlist and Steam account. So Sofiane is asking, could be interesting to do a Tutor instance deployment live, showing how to use plugins to customize the instance. Do you mean like developing new plugins, or installing existing plugins? I guess you mean installing existing plugins. So do I have time to do that right now? The most complex part involves configuring the DNS. So there's already a video out there on how to launch an instance on AWS. It's called Running Ironwood. Ironwood, how to run OpenX Ironwood on AWS, but it does not cover creation of plugins, the development of plugins. Okay, so you're thinking YAML plugins, and we're not going to do this now. So it's a good idea. I'll do that. We can do that in a future session. So usually, to develop plugins on a remote instance, you can either first develop the plugin locally on your laptop and then upload the plugin to the remote instance, or go the VIP way and use Tutor Machine, which allows you to develop plugins locally and see their impact live on the remote server. But for that you need Tutor Machine and the Wizard Edition license. But yeah, we can certainly do that. We need to figure out what kind of plugin we would be developing. Feel free to send me requests for features on the forums or by personal message. Sofiane, you know where to find me. All right, okay. I'm hoping to see you guys soon, next time.